We all know the official story surrounding Michael Jordan and his father's death. We know what happened and how it happened. Two men are literally in jail for the murder with life sentences. We know they were petty thieves. There is also a story floating around that Michael's father was killed due to Jordan's gambling, and he was forced to leave the NBA until things settled down. I've made a video on the subject with hard proof on why Michael Jordan actually left the NBA for almost 2 years, and you can find that video at the end of this one. There is a man connected to the mob that spread the gambling story, and you will meet him in a minute. But first, this is what officially happened straight from one of the men that were involved in the incident. Larry Demery is one of the men responsible for Michael Jordan's father's death. This is how he described the unfortunate day. On the night we crossed paths with Michael Jordan's dad, we had already robbed a convenience store and a couple outside a motel. There are motels right by Highway 95, the interstate that runs through North Carolina. So we were hanging around outside, creeping around, waiting for people to pop out. But not much was happening, and we noticed a car sitting not far from the motel, right beside the highway. Daniel actually mentioned it first. He said, "Man, you know what? That's a Lexus." At the time, I didn't know what a Lexus was because they'd only been out for a year or two. But we decided to go check it out. There in the front seat, we found the guy asleep, laying there with gold rings on his fingers and a gold watch. We actually thought the guy was a dope dealer to be in a ride like that, sitting beside the road asleep. So we just walked by a couple of times and checked it out. Then we decided to rob the guy. The plan was to drive him down the road and just put him out, then drive off with his stuff. But it didn't work out that way. There was only one pistol. Daniel had it. He tried to hand it to me, but I was like, "Nah, man, no. I'm not trying to make myself sound like an innocent person or anything." I was right there and down with the program, but nobody was supposed to have gotten hurt. The man was laying there asleep. So I remember he took it. And then there was a shot. That was it, just one shot, while the man lay there asleep. When he was hit, he just moved around a little bit, made a noise, like a moaning noise, then sat up real quick. There was a moment and he laid back again. And that was it, just a few seconds and he stopped moving. Now the story I'm going to mention right now, which we talked about in the beginning, is a conspiracy used by fans that dislike Jordan, mostly LeBron James fans, and that's a fact. The story was spread by Michael Franzese. Franzese is an American former mobster who was a capo regime in the Colombo crime family. Capo regime stands for captain or lieutenant, a position of leadership in the mafia. Well, I'll let Franzese tell you himself.
He's a big gambler, big. I mean, Michael gambles on everything. I met him actually at an NBA deal that we had, an event, yeah. Again, I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, but being that I was working with the NBA at that time, I was told two things. One, that he was told to leave the NBA around the time that his father got murdered because stories were about to come out and there was a lot of heat on the fact that because of Michael's gambling habit, his father paid the price. And the NBA didn't want the press, so they asked him to leave for a while. That's when he went to play baseball. And then when things settled down, he came back. The plan was always, from what I was told, for him to come back. Now again, I heard this from a source I believe was pretty knowledgeable, somebody I knew pretty well inside the NBA. So for me, it's secondhand information.
Now, after hearing what he said, it's easy to understand he does not have any first-hand information regarding the whole matter. I personally think it's complete BS. To understand why, make sure to watch that video you see on the screen, which explains in detail with hard proof why Michael Jordan actually left the NBA, with multiple sources on video confirming the official story. Please don't forget to share and like the video with friends, as it helps me a lot. Thank you.